Good morning, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're alright, 'cause it's time for the predictions video. Yes, a good 12 hours ago, yep. The Rust rotated for May 1st, 2025. We had the introduction of the jungle update. A lot of people were super hyped up for this. A lot of people were very, very eager to jump in. And we had over 200,000 people turning up. Absolutely wonderful. But in this video, we're here to look at those brand new skins that are accepted, of which there was lots of them. And we need to figure out of all those skins, which of them are potentially the best investment for the week, which of these skins might help us walk away some sweet, delicious look of profit. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. Right, so I'd love to talk about all these skins individually, but I kind of want to talk about the expectations over the course of the next few months as we go for the summer. I want to keep you kind of nice and prepared. So back over to here. Player count, well, we went through April, we went through the Easter dip, and of course the player count dropped off. Prices have dropped off, but this is a routine thing that we're fully well aware of. This happens pretty much every single year. Now that it's happened, now that we've got the big fat update coming out in May, from here and now, we can only expect positivity. We should expect a lovely gain in players. We should be expecting prices improving. Now, next month, I do believe kids in North America will be having summer vacation. Month after that, Europeans should follow suit, I'm sure. If you're from a different country, I'd love to hear what happens in your country when kids are out of school. So anyway, basically we are expecting potentially a nice uptick with a lot more people playing. Cool. But let's just talk about this. April, we had almost 98,000 average for the month, and yet that was the worst for 2025 so far. In comparison to the absolutely wonderful summer that we had, you know, that very nice peak player count we had, which was almost 98,000 for June 2024. Wait, what? It's the same, yeah. What a fun little contrast. So, point I'm trying to get across to all of you is, back in July 2024, we had loads of people playing, and prices for Ruskins were going very, very nice, reaching new all-time high prices. Well, of course, with what happened over the past 6 months, we've had like a big uptick with more people playing the game. Very cool to see. Back in January, we beat the all-time peak player count, 259,000. I am in the position of expecting that we potentially could be beating that in the summer. So as long as we see a lot of people turning up, feeling very enthusiastic, and let me say I've been seeing a lot of positivity with the jungle update today. I think we'll be seeing a lot of people playing, and of course with more people enjoying themselves, they're going to be more invested to play the game, they're going to want to buy more of the skins, we're going to see skin prices improve. So if you have noticed your inventories drop off a fair bit, from here and now you should start to see some nice graceful increases in price. Just don't assume it's all just going to suddenly go, it'll be a bit slow. It might take a while, might take a month or so, but you will start to notice prices potentially matching up to the prices we saw back in January 2025. Sounds good? Cool. So back over to here. Now that you're aware that we could look forward to some lovely positivity, let's now look at all these skins and consider what potentially is going to be the best investment for the week. And we have a bit of a problem. So it is about 12 hours since the Rust rotated. Yes, you haven't slept that much, Hedge, have you? No. I did stream a lot though. But I have to say that I'm seeing some very ridiculous sales. And you might sit there and say, oh, cool. Good for the skin creators. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, good for them. Cool. We are seeing a little bit too much, and I'm very worried that we're going to be seeing a lot of oversaturation. Oversaturation being genuine demand versus stock. If we have oversaturation, that means we have far too much stock in comparison to genuine demand. And that can lead to excess stock, which leads to far too much of it appearing on the Steam market, far too much of it appearing on third-party sites. That would lead to, well, if there's a lot of people that bought excess with pure intent to sell, they will be competing with each other to make a sale. Therefore, they'll keep undercutting each other, and the price will go down. This is a problem. Now, over the course of the next few months, during the summer, maybe it won't be so bad because there's a lot of people turning up. But when we go through the autumn-fall seasonal dip later this year, that being September, October, November, okay, that's going to be troublesome, all right? So I know we've got a lot of positivity ahead of us, but we also do have more negativity eventually. You have to be careful. So if we do see very excessive sales, all right, that's going to be a problem. Now, that can apply to all the skins. Now, I'll probably have some nice things to compare to really highlight the issue. But come on, Hedge. Out of all these skins, what is actually looking to be pretty interesting? By default, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about Black Alligator. Because as of now, whilst it's selling very nicely, it doesn't look like it's going to sell stupidly. It doesn't look like it's going to sell excessively. Right? I'm trying to point out the smart choices. So, Black Alligator. I've said this many times in the past, But ever since we've had like what was it, Dragon Rage and Black Diamond Collection being accepted, every year after that we've been seeing some blackout alternatives, 2 blackout alternatives every single year. So if I could just point out, here we have Dragon Rage, then we had Black Gold. The year after that we then had, what was it, Pirate Collection, and then eventually Legacy Kevlar. And then after that, last year we had Commando and Black Diamond. Now, of course, we have had Tire Collection. We just had the other core piece literally the previous week. Tire Tier 3 was submitted just this past weekend, but no, Black Alligator. Now, I'm not upset with it. I've actually given this a good look in game. Now, please consider watching my rust rotation video. Look in the description, look and see. I've actually done some camouflage checks with this. Dark clothing works perfectly fine in the shaded parts of the jungle. Like, that did very, very well. So, okay, that's promising. But will we actually see a collection continuation being produced? I fully expect it. The Duke has been around for years, but I can't really confirm he's like super fast with producing skins. That's not a problem. Let him take his time. Let him produce good quality pieces of work. And for what this is, I like it. It looks nice and ferocious. But by default, Tier 2, hoodie and pants, boots and gloves. If we see any of that being produced and accepted, that's going to spike on spike and price. Now, there is one potential issue. This is the first piece to come out. In about 2 or 3 weeks' time, do you reckon we're still going to see 200,000 people turning up? I'd like to see it happen, but I'm going to be a little bit unsure. And today, with lots of people turning up, lots of people saw this rust store, lots of people looked at skins and bought them. I can't guarantee that skins in 3 weeks' time are going to sell as much as these skins. Kind of makes sense, I'm sure. So maybe we get Tier 2 in 3 weeks, or boots and gloves, or hoodie and pants. And if they do sell less than that, that could be a bit of a problem. However, if we see it being accepted, that's still going to spike in price. So I'm looking forward to it, but just be a bit careful, you know. A great example of this issue is the Abyss Collection. Take a look at that, and what do you see? Tier 3 was accepted first, did almost 30,000 subscribers. Tier 2 followed. That did about 15,000, 16,000 subscribers. And then Hoodie and Pants, about 14,000 subscribers. These sold about 10,000 less compared to these. And you notice these are in the positive right now, and that is still not. So, I'm sure that's a bit clear to you. So be a bit wary, be a bit cautious. Looking at all the remaining skins here, I would like to talk about Reptile Hunter, Poncho and Bandana, but they are looking like they might sell a little bit too much. However, that Reptile Hunter Poncho is the cheapest green poncho at the moment, I do believe. So if I could just do a nice little check on SUMM.app, you can just click, compare to all the other high ponchos. I could look at this based on highest price, and I can confirm to you, well, you might bring up Christmas Reef Poncho. No, that's got like baubles and red coloration on it. And you could bring up that, you could bring up that. That's too bright. That can't be camouflage. So in terms of nice dark green, that is just a fair bit cheaper compared to Deep Sea Poncho. Now, we're also in a position where we could anticipate potentially more Reptile Hunter primitive skins being produced. And let me tell you, I think that might be happening. Anyway, boots and gloves were also submitted very recently. And, well, that's not like leather gloves. It's not like hide boots, but maybe we might be seeing that soon. But if that does get accepted as well, maybe we could still see that spike and spike in price. But as you can see, we already have all the core pieces, basically. Except the boots and gloves. That would be nice. Anyway, with that being accepted today, we did actually see so many skins spike and spike in price. See how this is a bit delayed, by the way. See that hoodie? $10.26. I click it. I look in the Steam market. What do I see? Oh, it's selling for $16. So, yeah, that happened. Cool. The poncho is interesting. The bandana is a bit troublesome. Please consider watching my rust rotation video. Go ahead and look at the chapter where I do some nice camouflage checks for just the Reptile Hunter. You'll notice that because of the transparency on the bandana, well, if you have a pale character, if you like super white, people will spot you because they'll notice like your neck. So there is a thing I will bring up. You could just go get one of the cheapest green bandanas that are in game. So over here, you could use the standard green bandana, or you could use Forest Camo bandana. That right there, the Forest Camo one, a better fit when you use it with the Reptile Hunter Poncho. Like, it's just a solid fit. And I do showcase that in the Rust Rotation showcase, so consider giving that a good watch. I am cautious and a fair bit worried about the sales that we'll get, but I can't help but assume it's still likely going to hold up, especially as we go through the summer. We'll see. but I am also anticipating more skins being produced for this. So you could at least wait until Wednesday. Of course, I'll be streaming. We'll be doing the abnormal barders. So look at the description right now, so links to all my socials, more specifically my Twitch. Wednesday night next week, 9 PM London time, I'll be on here. I'll look at all the skins. We'll make considerations for prices, and then we'll race to do the barders. We'll look at the abnormal barder support afterwards, and yeah, right. It's looking promising. It's looking interesting, but it looks like it might be selling just a little bit too excessively. The smartest way to approach it is wait until the last second, basically. Bandana, I like you, and of course you do go with this, but I'm definitely leaning more towards with the Poncho. With all the remaining skins, we might have a problem. I think I now want to talk about the locker. Very nice looking locker, looking very shiny, glows in the dark very nicely. Kitties. But we've had quite a lot of lockers already this year, haven't we? So if I could just quickly showcase this to you, if I could just sit here and say that we've had 5 lockers in 2025. Last year we got 7, and that felt excessive. We haven't even reached halfway through this year yet, and we've already got 5. So that might be a little bit of a problem. You never know, we might get more Twitch drops, more skins being produced for holidays and whatnot, because of course we still have like Halloween and Christmas. There's still a lot left of this year. It's a very nice looking design, but take one quick look at these lockers again. How many of them are currently in the positives that come out somewhat recently? Ultramarine's doing quite alright. Forest Raiders doing quite alright. Scroll. Yeah. And then you go to like the much older ones. So yeah, this is looking to be a bit of a problem here, isn't it? Maybe we won't see that many more lockers. Maybe this won't sell too ridiculously. But again, we haven't even done 24 hours of sales yet, let alone like 14, I guess you could say. But like, as you can see here, 8,600 already. We're almost about to already beat the Ultramarine locker after not even a full day. We might be even surpassing Beauty Industry. So, okay, that might be a bit of a problem. Again, this is why we like to wait until like Wednesday, then consider approaching it. Okay. I'm going to talk about the Jungle Ivy rug, but I'm not going to talk about this in terms of positivity. But I could see it working out quite nicely later on, and by later on maybe like a year or so. Why would you say that? Well, as I said, it's about like just past 12 hours since the roster rotated, and that already has 21,000 subscribers. So we're in a position where we're definitely matching up to a certain behaviour I've seen in the past. Now, quite a long time back, we have had the Camouflage net rug. That sold quite comfortably when it first came out, and then people like to start putting it all over their bases for some camouflage. Most notably, Wildoonaald made a video quite some time back, and that definitely popularised it, and that definitely started seeing that spike of demand, spike of price. Cool. About 2 years later, we then saw the kelp rug being accepted. Another green rug? And has a bit of transparency in it? Okay, well, loads of people super eager about that. Loads of people very, very enthusiastic about that. In the first 24 hours, that did 25,000 subscribers. And by the end of the week, it reached almost 47,000 subscribers. Now, just to get the point across, that was excessive. That was ridiculous. And initially, for the first year or so, it wasn't doing very good. So if it sold for $1.49, look and see how it behaved initially. Immediately went down a price, lowest point about 80 cents. Did perk up a bit, went back down a bit. But as time went on, it did slowly, gracefully rise up in price. Now, as of now, it's only $3. Still profit. But that still took a year and a bit to finally get to there. Alright? Now, considering we just got this brand new Ivy rug, maybe that's going to lose a bit of interest. Now, the funny thing is, quite some time later in 2023, we also saw the grass rug. A lot of people were super enthusiastic for that. But it didn't sell too ridiculously. It sold just about 30,000. And that is sitting there on the Steam market right now at $13.50. That was also used in a Wildoonaald video, so just saying. The one where he put it on his high walls all around. Anyway, this right here. You better cross your fingers and hope Wildoonaald puts in a video. But as of now, I am worried because that's looking like it's going to be selling more than the kelp rug. And if the kelp rug really did suffer initially, what do you reckon might happen to that? Now think what's the most appropriate thing to say here? Think within reason, think with a bit of logic. It is looking very excessive, but by all means, if you like the skin and you want to buy it, use it, enjoy it, treat yourself, okay? You're buying it for yourself, not as an investment. But if you're looking at that as an investment, that is abnormal, right? Wednesday night, we'll approach it, consider what we do in terms of prices, then we'll race to put bars down, right? And if you're still not fully sure what abnormals are, if I could just quickly hop over to here, I have got this video right here, Ruskin Abnormal Bars for May 1st, 2025. Consider watching the first 5 minutes. Listen to me as I yap away, talking about how I'm approaching a skin, how much I want to offer for it, and then go to the chapters, skip ahead to the bilders. You will essentially understand what abnormal skins are. They become marketable before the roster even rotates. So what we can do is we can figure out prices, race to put bilders down, look and see how much support each skin has in terms of how many bilders, how high the price goes up, and, well, essentially, if it's got enough, it looks like it's actually going to retain its value then, doesn't it? So a very useful thing to have, and something you should be a lot more aware of. This could be very, very helpful as we approach this, but even then, it's looking like it's selling too ridiculously. Point made. Right then, so let's wrap this up in terms of talk about all the remaining deplorables and then all the remaining weapons. Garage doors, sheet metal doors. I'll be very straightforward with you. The amount of garage doors we've received for just this week is ridiculous. 2 garage doors in the same rust store and 2 Twitch drops. This might sell a little bit too much as well. And I'm not going to be surprised if it's going to end up exactly like the Lunar New Year garage doors, which also sold a lot in terms of their prices and their overall sales. 45,000 subscribers, 33,000 subscribers, $3.49, $2.99, down 25%, down 50%. Do not be surprised in the slightest if that happens to these two, all right? Being very straightforward for you. We have seen far too many garage doors being given to us over the past like 2 or 3 years, and just this week, 4 garage doors. Next week, maybe even more. And of course, more Twitch drops at some point this year. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but being very brutally honest. Sheet metal doors. That's a very nice looking sheet metal door. Looks very pretty. The glow in the dark looks very, very nice. However, I just don't have any confidence in sheet metal doors anymore. Again, if you like a skin, buy it for yourself. Treat it, treat yourself. Support the skin creators. Keep them nice and motivated. Keep wanting to put nice creative designs in the future. However, I cannot help but assume both of these will probably struggle. Now, that does match up very nicely in terms of pairing up with the building skin, but it's still selling pretty excessively. Same to this one as well. And of course, we're also getting a brand new sheet metal door Twitch drop. So, yeah. The amount of sheet metal doors we have in this game is ridiculous. It's very hard for them to maintain interest. It's very hard for them to maintain their price. And both of these very likely will be dropping off. By next Wednesday, they're probably getting close to about 30,000 subscribers. I am worried. So that's all the deplorables. I'm not feeling very confident. Now, over to the weapons. I am somewhat reasonably interested in the Thompson. I will sit here and say Thompsons tend to do a fairly decent job in terms of retaining their value. As you can see over here, it's a bit 50-50. If it sold a reasonable amount, I'd feel a lot more confident in it. But it is selling quite a fair bit initially. Keep track of it. We'll, look at it in terms of Wednesday. But that's not abnormal, this skin. So that might be a bit of a problem. Sorry, I haven't slept for a long time. But that right there, I expect it to perform better compared to these. Now, if I could just quickly point out, the cheapest Thompson right now is above $1. And I can confirm to you, yes, it's just over there. And that is a holiday theme skin. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, a recycler. It just doesn't have any demand. But yeah, the other skins you see here for like the LR300, the hunting bows, the SARS, they do go below $1. People just don't care enough about LR300, the weapon itself. So why would they care about getting skins for it? 88 cents, 88 cents, 89 cents. There's a lot of skins below $1, I'm afraid. Same thing can be applied to the bow and the SAR. These are going to be 60 cents to 80 cents, these 3 weapons here, but the Thompson, it might be like an 80 cent to $1.20 type of buy order. And that's my answer. Very straightforward, but with the way things are and the sales we're seeing, I'm sure you could respect that, okay? So, sorry to the skin creators, but people turn up to, get a good understanding in regards to how to approach the skins and whatnot. Cool. So, props to them getting all the sales, but yeah, in terms of investments, right then. So let's talk about some other things. So I've already pointed out that we can look forward to potentially a lot better in terms of prices from here and now. Said that at the very beginning. Jungle update. I hope you're going to look forward to all the brand new, lovely, interesting content. Some of you probably can't play properly until, of course, the weekend, so enjoy yourselves. And don't forget, right now, there are Twitch drops. So, as you can see, this is going on for basically the entire month. It stops on the 29th of May. It was intended to be the full month, but there is a limit. There's a 4-week limit, so yeah, Facepunch couldn't do it all the way to June. We have 7 Twitch drops, and it's not hard to get them at all. Just have a Twitch account, link to your Steam account, 2 hours for each skin, 14 hours in total. Just watch anyone streaming Rust on Twitch, all right? Cool. So you could watch me if you really want to. And if you want to get a good look at all of these skins, consider going to my YouTube right now, and you'll see that I have a lovely little showcase video right here. Rust, May 2025 Twitch Drops Skin Showcase. All the skins are chaptered, including a nice focus on the transparent garage door, which you can see right there, the rusticated garage door. So cool. Now, in regards to all the skins that we had accepted today, none of them were early picks, which was quite a big surprise to me. So all the skins you basically saw being accepted today were in TGG's top picks. However, if you want to be informed of what potentially could be accepted next week, consider looking at my Rust Workshop skin checks. I have a video just over to here, which you can see right here in front of you. Again, all collection continuations are chaptered right there, so if something's caught your eye, such as Commando Backpack, or Banana Leaf Clothing, or Tier 2, Tier 3, I've misspelt that. Whoops. Well then, consider giving that a good look, and you'll be aware of potentially new skins that might be accepted upcoming. Oh yes. And you could go back and look at this video here, where we're discussing how likely will the green skins be behaving over the course of, well, when this update came out, which is today. Again, this was a video I put out 2 weeks ago. But initially, all the speculators jumped in, bought out a ton of stock that was anything that was green. They even bought out the Bombshell backpack, because, you know, it was the only green backpack skin we have. However, that was kind of pointless because the standard large backpack is dark green anyway. So by default, it's already good green camouflage. That's how silly it was. So, Forest Raiders, Reptile Hunter, UFO Tier 3, Franken Tier 3, Tank Armor and whatnot. Loads of interesting green skins. I talk about how all their prices went up here, but afterwards, things did kind of calm down. Now, what I'm going to point out is I'm in the process of making a sequel video, 2 videos to be precise, one for primitive skins, one for the core pieces. Core pieces being Tier 2, Tier 3, and hoodie and pants. All right. So if you're curious about like the follow-up to this, it's happening, it's being made, and I'm going to put a nice focus in trying to showcase all those skins in the jungle, because with the actual update out now, it's definitive as of now, and I can give another highlight to showcase all of them in like the bushes, in the trees. So yeah, cool. Now, just to point out, all the skins, they were looked at positively in terms of upvotes, downvote ratio. Micro522.com, a very useful website, it's linked in the description. Essentially, a lot of the skins had tons of support. So if you might sit there and say, "Oh, who wanted this?" A lot of people did. I know some people were really upset we didn't get like any green Tier 3, Tier 2, or hoodie and pants. At the end of the day, if you're already invested into Reptile Hunter, flashbacks, and whatnot, this isn't a bad thing. People have been focusing buying those skins instead, the pre-existing green clothing armor. But maybe next week. Maybe the week after that. Maybe at some point April, May, June, we'll probably see some actual like armor being accepted. But to see Reptile Hunter primitive skins being accepted, that was actually a massive surprise to me. I was looking at this pretty grounded. I thought Face Punch was just going to completely avoid it. I'm not surprised to see Black Alligator was accepted today. But to see that, okay, you know what? That's cool. All right. Some more affordable green primitive. That's cool. That's nice. Right. So, okay. What to do from here and now? A big fat update just came out. Well, now you can keep an eye out for the potential next big fat update. Keep an eye on the commits. The commits.facepunch.com website is linked in the description, and you can see what the devs are currently working on. And I'd like to point out that they apparently are working on a cow. Yes, we've got the chickens. Now we can look forward to the cow. What could we get from the cow? Maybe milk, but what would you do with that? You tell me. And of course the naval update. So this has been worked on for a while now, it seems, and apparently we're going to get a brand new floating city in the ocean. Okay, sounds like a new monument. And apparently we're going to get a boat building platform. Now I'm sure a lot of you are kind of probably already aware of this, but yeah, apparently we're going to be able to build our own boats. Have you ever played the game Raft? I would love it if we could build our own rafts and just float in the ocean with a sail. And, you know, you could probably build up to much bigger boats. Pirate ship, warship, speedboats, you name it. That would sound cool, wouldn't it? But we don't have a clue what's actually being worked on right now. If I could kind of give you some context, we were well aware of the jungle update like more than half a year ago, because it was mentioned in the commits. Even the primitive update as well. Like, I honestly thought jungle update could have come out before the primitive update. That was like at the very beginning of this year. But anyway, if you want to be aware of all the new upcoming content, you have to keep an eye on this. So yes, could we get another big fat update just before the end of this year? We shall see. I hope you enjoyed the big update that was the jungle update. I hope you're looking forward to the summer. Best of luck with you and your investments. I hope the video was reasonably nice, concise and straight to the point. I'm tired and I tried my best to be nice and quick with it. So once again, thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. Best of luck grabbing all of those Twitch drops and have fun over the course of this weekend and during the summer.